Hello, folks. Welcome to the show designed to look at our government and pillars of our community.
Pillars.
Who they are and what they do in town. My name is Dan Armin. Welcome to I Want to Know. And I would like to welcome our guest, William Dellacamera of Chicorelli Farms. How are you? And thanks for doing this.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I really
today.
appreciate this. It's really hard to schedule people, and this worked out. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You like my new shirt? I rock dork pretty good, don't I?
Well, this is the shirt from Farm Aid.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's got Farm Aid on the back. It was on the stage with Willie Nelson and Dave Matthews, John Mellencamp.
Where was that? Was that in Connecticut?
It was in Hartford.
It was in Hartford, man.
Yep.
That's way cooler than this.
Well, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you meet Willie?
I met Willie as he walked out on the stage.
Okay.
And then when we had our press conference on the way back, I got pictures with Dave Matthews and Neil Young.
Wow, fantastic, man.
John Mellencamp wasn't in a good mood that day.
Okay.
But it was a good time.
Okay.
Got to sit on stage and have a press conference and talk about some of the troubles with farming, you know? Mm-hmm. And Farm Aid does a lot for farmers. In 1985 is when they started because of the farm crisis, and they got.
I remember that.
Yeah, there's farm crisis now, you know, especially the Midwest. I mean, we have enough trouble here.
Look at the drought they have. Look at the flooding, epic flooding.
Yeah, grain bins just floating down the river.
Right.
That those farmers are never going to get paid for.
And that's last year's production.
That's last year's production. They may got some futures on it, but they'll never get paid for that stuff. It's gone.
And then this year's production is ruined.
Well, where are they going to get the money to put anything in the ground?
Yeah.
Where's all the seed going to come from?
Right.
And then we got, tariff situations that are hindering the price, and farming, and these guys are strapped. It's their livelihood, and I don't know the numbers, but there's farmers committing suicide every day.
Absolutely.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
But we got a new farm bill. Maybe there's a new mental health part of the farm bill, so we'll see. That's going on. I think Washington starting maybe this week or next week.
Okay.
So.
And then how do you encourage younger farmers to get into the business, right? Or is it then just big agriculture?
It's big agriculture, yeah. Oh, I might be off on the numbers, but I think they said 70% of the subsidies go to the top producers. 10% of the farms, and they're mega farms.
Right.
They're not producers. They're not producers. They're not me. They're not our other farms in North Branford. We're producers. Those are big entities, big companies. Mm-hmm. Boards and
they have lobbyists.
Yeah.
I mean, that's usually the key.
Well, some of our, a lot of stuff we have to endure through those farm bills is because of lobbyists, or some of the stuff you might have, like some food safety stuff. It's all lobbyists. The big farmers want it because it's hard for us to compete then.
Right.
Because for them to hire another person is nothing. For us to hire another person to do that,
to comply with new regulations,
is going to put us out of business, and they know it. But we can only fight back as much as we got, and we ain't got much. So when you have someone like Farm Aid that will step up and be the voice of us, less heard.
Is there Farm Aid in Hartford every year, or is
no.
it cycles throughout the country, or how does that
they
work?
cycle it throughout the country. I believe they choose where they're going to go as those four main people cross paths, so that they're not.
So they're not. So Willie and John Mellencamp and all these guys aren't, traveling from all parts of the country.
Yeah, they try to. But Willie did. He did leave. He left Hartford on a Saturday night. We watched him leave in his bus.
Yeah.
And he was at a rally for Beto O'Rourke on Tuesday afternoon. So, but he's got two buses, and he likes traveling, I guess.
That's great. I wonder how old is he now?
He's 84, maybe.
My, good for him.
Feeble. There's not old, but he's doing it
though.
Yeah.
Oh man, good for him. What about you though? This show is all about you today.
All about me.
So you grew up in town, correct?
I grew up, born and raised in Northford.
Okay.
Yep.
And you graduated high school and you went to college, right?
1998. Yeah, I graduated from North Branford in 1998, and I went to SUNY Cobleskill for 2 years and for agricultural engineering. That's my love is for farming.
Was it always the case? I mean,
Yeah.
what inspired you?
I don't know. Just growing
up in Northford.
around machines in Northford. That was
Right.
the thing you saw. Farms. I mean, it's your environment. I think that shapes what you're going to be.
Sure.
People grow up on the shore, in the water. They're usually
They'll be interested
fishermen.
in water,
They're
yeah.
fishermen. And
Right.
I grew up in Northford, and there's a lot of farms around. That's the thing to do. I mean, maybe you grow up along the railroad. You work for the railroad. I mean, that's how how you're shaped.
Well said, right. So did you go, when you graduated school, did you go to work for Chick-fil-A's?
I actually worked for Nelson as he was taking over the farm from his uncles.
Okay.
His father and his uncles, were getting old, and some of them passed away, and he wanted to see the farm go on. And he was selling insurance at the time, and I think he wanted to see the farm get bigger and be a sustainable farm, and he always was looking to the future. He was looking for the new things. He brought a farm up to technology that was lagging, and then he kept going. He didn't stop when we were at the same point as the farms around us with some of the new implements and styles of farming. He didn't stop there. He kept going and got into this new zone tillage stuff that we do a lot of.
What was it like before? Like when you were in school and really young, what was it like versus when you got involved and you started modernizing everything?
Oh, it was a lot more work.
Yeah.
Nowadays we do things with plastic rows with water drip tubes underneath them, with stakes, and a lot less weeding and hoeing. And we used to do stuff with small machines. We would have long sticks with chains hanging to mark rows, and now we do it more with machines. We got the plastic that was never around, and the drip irrigation. Instead, we'd move these big heavy pipes for water. Now it's a drip system that's underneath the plastic, and it's good for the environment. Less water, less runoff,
right, and
less evaporation.
You preserve the soil too that way.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So now we're into the plastic, and we're this is like maybe 99, 2000, and we start growing more acres of stuff. Well, when I first
started, how many
started,
acres do you utilize now?
All together with the land owned by the farm and the land that we rent,
right,
we're at 240 acres.
Okay. I
don't use all that every year, and we never did.
Okay.
The most we ever did, I think, 2014, 15, I think we pulled just around 200 acres, which is a lot for around here.
Yeah.
It's all, some of it's rented, and we got the 80 acres or 133 acres right there outside the center of Northford. That's a part of the story, is Nelson's aunts and uncles, when it was time, to start making some, changes of, who wants to farm and who doesn't want to farm.
Who wants to run it, who wants to manage
yeah,
it, the different duties.
Yeah, they decided that the thing to save the farm was they were going to sell the development rights to the state of Connecticut. So, and a bunch of the cousins and the uncles got together. They made a plan, and the state bought the development rights, and everybody felt at ease at that time. Now they knew it was going to be a farm forever, but who was going to run it? And Nelson kind of stepped up, put a lot of time and a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, and a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
In a short period of time, there about 10 years, 12 years that he had it. He passed away a little over a year ago, which was unexpected.
Right.
And it's hard. It's hard for me every day because it's different. And we knew each other and what we were going to do. When we got up, we never had to say much to each other in the morning, and we knew it had to get done. We had our jobs, and then I lose a key half,
right,
and it would have been the same had something happened to me.
Right.
And now I got to go through this, and last year was a fairly bad growing year. Farmers I speak to that are in their 80s say they never saw a year that bad ever farming. All the water, and the heat and the humidity and the diseases in plants. It was hard.
Plus
I made it through.
Your side.
Yeah. So this year I'm hoping to, a little better and some better weather, and we'll get things done. Last year I farmed about 120 acres, and I'm going to do probably around the same again this year.
How do you decide how much you'll farm, and what determines that?
I think the market you've made for yourself determines that. I could go out and say, I'm only going to plant corn and plant. Last year I planted around 40 acres of corn. This year I'm going to bump it up to probably 55 or 60, because last year I felt short. I didn't have enough. And my markets that I've created, what they demand. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I do a lot of direct delivery to stores. One of them, Big Y, the chain Big Y. I go to all the stores around here. So their demand on me, and another big wholesale place that I would rather not for the margins. So
you don't want to cut yourself short.
Don't want to cut myself short. Yeah. So, and there's a few other local places that we sell to, and we sell a lot of stuff to them. So my intent is to try to figure out how much they want, meaning my local guys, and grow a little excess to go to the other place to keep my price per package up where it should be, instead of go all to a wholesaler where my price per package would be less.
Lower, right.
It's a little more work in being a direct store, but I think there's a little more money in it for me.
It's survival.
Yeah, that's my business, or I shouldn't say mine, but that was our look at the business for us. There's other farms in town that go different avenues. Mm-hmm. They're maybe more direct.
And that was your business model, though, as you said. That's what you guys had worked on, and that was your sustainability.
Well, from what was always said was Nelson's uncles and his father, they were always in the wholesale business, and they never really explored the direct. Mm-hmm. So they've been in Northford since 1912. They never had a direct or a stand or anything like that, because they figured we're selling to they're our competitors. We're competing with our. So that's what Nelson had always explained it that way to me. And now you got to be diversified, because the less diversified you are, you got a big risk there of being unsustainable. So
you grow corn. What else do you grow?
We grow a lot of stuff. I grow everything from arugula to spinach and everything in between. I don't grow acres of arugula, but I grow a lot of different greens, lettuce, spinach, Swiss chard, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all different types of cabbages. These are stuff that isn't a lot, but it's enough to get by. What I do grow a lot of is tomatoes and sweet corn. Okay. That's what they were always known for. And, I got some customers that will only buy tomatoes from there, and that's what they want. We do a good job picking them and packing them, and just that's what the customers don't want to open a box, and so they know they're going to get a good package. And everybody knows. It doesn't matter where you go. We go to meetings or wholesalers. They know. They always say, Ciccarelli's farm. You guys put up a good package. And in our business, that's what people say. You put up a good package means you do a good job doing what you're doing.
Do you sell locally also? Like, can I go to a stand? Do you have a stand?
Well, we have a little stand on Old Post Road.
Okay.
And it's not big, but it's little. It got a little bit of everything, and really the staples. Mm-hmm. We don't have.
We have the corn.
Yeah, corn and tomatoes and peppers, eggplant, cucumbers, green beans, the stuff that people look for native and or should be looking for native. And I encourage everybody to go out, and if it's in our growing season, buy local. Buy local. Right. I'm not just saying buy from Ciccarelli Farms. Buy local. Buy from us. Keep us here. Keep us sustainable.
Right. Keep the money in town.
Yeah, we're getting we're getting to be an endangered species, and it's hard at the end of the day to work so hard and not feel. I mean,
this is true, and that like we really have to emphasize the fact this is true hands-on work. I mean, even though we're utilizing technology, it's still one of the most labor-intensive ways to make money.
Yeah, it's labor-intensive.
You know,
there's others,
and then there's all these factors that you can't control. You know, I mean, to a big degree,
you're not controlling the weather.
Market forces.
The two real challenges in the next, two real challenges we're having coming up are the WW, and that's weather and wages, because obviously the weather's changed, and we can see that. I mean, well, you call it what you want to call it, but I'm going to tell you, I've only been in this a short period of time, as far as I'm concerned, but when someone's 84, 85 years old comes to you and says they've never seen this before,
right.
Something's changing.
Right.
It may just be cyclical. I understand that, but
it's still changing no matter what the cause is. We have to address it either way.
It has to be addressed, as you know. And wages is another thing.
They're going up.
Yeah, they're going up. It'll be a challenge because of how do you. Wages not going up for me. Mm-hmm. My wage is not going up. Mm-hmm. It's not, you know. So we'll have to get, cross that bridge when we get there. But those are the two things that are in marketing. You know, you can grow whatever you want. If you can't market it, you ain't selling it. Right. So I like to say, we got this piece of pie. That's what I have. This piece of pie, and I only have a few weeks to eat from it, because that's the way it is here. So,
it's shelf life in a way, right?
Not just shelf life, but the growing season.
Yeah.
You know, I only got a certain amount of growing season, so I got this pie, and if I only got wholesale, that's all I got, and that's my pie. If I diversify and I go to some direct retail, now I got another little piece of pie, and that's how that's what I have, and really. Some of these things comes down to just how are you going to make it more efficient. A lot of stuff, the more efficient you can make it, the better off I am in the end, the more sustainable I'll be. So now I might change some things. It's not the way we used to do it, but it's the way I have to do it now, based on, like I said, the plastic, that knocked a lot of labor off.
Right.
But it incurs the price of the plastic. But you can't compare it's such a better way to grow.
Is the plastic reusable?
Plastic is not reusable.
Okay. So it's
we
recycled.
remove it from the ground and it's recycled. Okay. So when we remove it from the ground at the end of the year, it goes off recycled. It's dirty, but it's clean.
Okay.
So. Yeah. There is some bio stuff or some degradable stuff that's
hopefully it turns into reusable straws now, and
Well, the
water bottles.
The newest version of this bio stuff is based off of limestone.
Oh.
So. What are you doing? It's the right thing instead of basing it off of petroleum.
Right.
And years, they were basing it off of corn for a few years there, and you got these steps, and there's, everything it becomes better.
It's baby steps,
time.
and
baby steps,
we're improving gradually, right?
Yes.
Are certain products more efficient to grow than others? Right? Like, is corn more efficient than potatoes, or?
We do grow both. Corn is a large seed. It's seeded directly in the field. And we go out and we get the ground ready to plant the corn.
How long does it take to prepare the ground for all your product? I mean, really, is that like an easy deal?
No, everything's put in different. There's different jobs, like a moldboard plow to do it, or the zone tiller. So how you're going to do it, but stuff like the corn is direct seeded, it's a one-man job to get the field ready, and then it's a one-man job to seed it, and then it's a one-man job to take care of it till the day you pick it.
Okay.
The day you pick it, we go out 6 guys and we pick the corn. We never come back. 'Cause, you know, there's a stupid fact. There's only one good ear of corn on a stalk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we take care of the corn, and then 6 guys go out, pick right through. We never come back.
Right.
So that's one thing. Tomatoes is you start the seed in the greenhouse. You got to sometimes transplant it once in the greenhouse from one pot to another. Then you have to, someone's got to plow the land, get the land ready, lay the plastic in the tube, then put them in by hand.
Wow.
Then then you come and put stakes up with strings.
So
then
they don't fall over.
They don't fall over. Then you pick those into baskets. The baskets come in and people pack them into boxes. It's a longer process. There's a lot of labor in that. So
Okay.
For us, tomatoes is probably the most
Labor intensive.
labor intensive, but it's probably return on investment is probably the best with the tomatoes.
Okay.
Years ago, we would sort through the tomatoes. We'd make a box of number 1s,
Right.
big ones, a box of number 1s, smaller ones, a box what we would call number 2s or
Right.
canners or utilities. Those are for the people that want to make sauce, and we'd stack them up, and sometimes they wouldn't sell. We'd have to dump them out, and then we'd have stuff that was really blemished that people would never buy. We'd throw all that stuff in and we'd go, I'm going to say 6-8 yards of stuff every other day.
Okay.
So a few years ago, we said, let's see what we could do with this here. We got a processor to process them. We jar them now. We crush them and we jar them for tomato sauce. And you could find those at, Big Y. We sell a lot too. And
Fantastic. Yeah.
so that helped the tomatoes even more. And that's something that we need. Something we need as an ag community statewide is to have some sort of processor for other stuff. So that's individual flash freeze, they call it IFF. People tried it years ago and they got away from it because it was very costly to do.
But your idea would be to have one entity that does this.
Yeah.
And then all the different farmers that have the same product bring it to these guys.
Yes. I think there's some places that's doing it now. I think Naugatuck Valley Community College might be doing it. And if I'm not saying not every farm would do it, but I think some farms around here might.
would provide a product for this type of situation.
I think if you could if you could glean off stuff that's going to your compost pile anyways, and you could flash freeze it for the winter, have a little bit of something for the winter, but I think right now there's maybe too much. Everything's too fast paced right now. We got some things maybe where people are paying attention to a little more than what we should be. We got to pull some of these things back a little bit.
That's well said. I mean, look, our information cycle is so saturated. How do we digest, any of it?
It's not just
really true.
We got to back off in some other places too. There's a lot of things we do, and it's okay. But if you watch, you'll see some people will go out and spend, $5, $8, $10 for a bundle of corn stalks to put for a decoration that they only throw away. But they won't pay. They don't want to pay $3 for a dozen ears of corn that they're going to eat, and it's healthy for them. It's close. So sometimes there's this. I think we got to get back to our roots. We're moving at a little too fast pace here.
Right.
So I think at some point we'll get there, but I'd like to see some more of that. And
hopefully, as you said, like many things, it's a cycle, right? And hopefully we're going to eventually come to a period of time when we kind of slow up and we refocus on what really matters.
Yeah, we gotta go to the question. It's always the golden question: is it a fruit or a vegetable?
Right. Figure that out.
No, that's easy to figure out. It's a fruit or a vegetable. Is it a fruit or a vegetable? Tomato.
Right.
Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
It's a vegetable to me.
No, it's not. It's a fruit.
Okay, it's a fruit to me. It is whatever you say.
Well,
you're the expert. I just wear this shirt. That's all I do.
Yeah, that's the golden question. This whole thing. So
my daughter's going to totally yell at me for answering that way. Because she's going to say it's a fruit.
Yeah, it makes a flower.
Okay.
Then the flower makes the fruit. The fruit protects the seeds. That's a fruit.
That's not the first time I've been wrong, you know.
A vegetable is something. A vegetable is like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, a root crop, a beet, something like that. A carrot. Because the seed is in the flower.
Okay.
In a fruit, the fruit protects the seed. But maybe there's a lawsuit that says tomato's not a fruit. It really is.
I was not involved with it.
What was the whole tax thing?
That's probably, you're right. That's probably
hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
They wanted to tax, and somebody said, well, you can't tax a tomato that's not sugary and against something, a fruit that's like a peach or an apple that's sugary and tastes good. A fruit should be sweet and a tomato is tart. It's something along that line. You could look it up.
I will.
It's about 100 years old. It's all to do about taxes.
Okay. Well, most things are.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's what dictates a lot.
Yep.
So we have a couple more minutes. What are you looking forward to this year? What are you looking forward to this year? Right.
A good year. Not as wet. A little drier.
How was the year so far? For how's the weather been?
The weather's, I think it's on par.
Okay.
We were out in the field today doing some stuff. It was not overly wet, so I think it's on par. I mean, it is wet out there, but I don't think it's any wetter than it ever was. So.
All right, for this time of year.
Yeah.
Okay. So people can find your farm stand where again?
On Old Post Road.
Okay, where about?
I think the address is 164 maybe.
Okay.
But the farm is 186. It's all right there. Nice country road, beautiful farm, top of the hill. Nice place.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
And we got a little bit going on there, and they're redoing the restaurant there at the Mill Pond, and we got the vineyard between us, so see if we could make something of it.
Excellent. And what kind of trends are you looking forward to as far as engineering? I wanted to ask this question. It's like wonkish, but we have another couple of minutes, so I just want to find out, are you still introducing new technology?
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to admit to you that I was that mindset that. Yeah, we have this, but how can I make it better? My mind's always going, cutting stuff up and welding stuff back together. I have all those, I could do all that stuff. It may not be new to the industry, but it might be new to the farm, something I might do, something I might see. In New England, unfortunately, we don't really have equipment companies that build stuff directly for us.
So you do it?
You got to be, so I do it. So I built... I have a custom a planter that we had bought, and it worked for us, but I took it apart one winter and I completely customized it. It's only really for us.
So we got to wrap up, but can we go on site and see what you guys do?
Yep, we can go on site. Yeah, we'll get a cameraman out there. We could spend a little bit of time. I could show you some stuff, and I have some pretty cool things in my head already working for this year. And one of them is something that's not really done anywhere, and I'm kind of maybe looking into working with someone with a grant for it.
All right, so thank you very much. We got to run. Thank you everybody for watching, and we're going to be on site with Will in the spring. Look forward to seeing that, and we'll be doing another show shortly. Thanks for joining us. Bye.